We're just days away, yes, from a potential government shutdown as the House's new Speaker, Mike Johnson, faces his first real test of leadership. Government funding will expire next Friday if lawmakers can't reach a deal. So joining us now is CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion. Wow, he didn't get much of a honeymoon period, did he, Nikole? This is the first big hurdle for Speaker Johnson's tenure. Where do talks stand right now?
Well, the Speaker has made clear that he plans to lay forth his next steps soon. We know that House Republicans met earlier this week to talk about a couple of different options, including a stopgap measure that could potentially fund the government through January. There's also what's called a laddered CR, or continuing resolution. This is something where instead of just doing a blanket extension, instead this would be more of a staggered approach, where individual agencies might be extended in terms of their funding for a particular period of time. I did ask the Speaker earlier this week, why even try something new when you have less than 2 weeks to get this done? But he did want to allow members the opportunity to weigh in. He said that he understands the time constraints and feels relatively confident that they can move something in the next couple of days. At this juncture, though, now that we're at the end of the week, the earliest the House could potentially act on a bill would likely be sometime next week. That being said, the Senate is also poised to start the machinations of trying to put forth a continuing resolution on their end. We expect the Majority Leader to take a procedural step today to kind of get the ball rolling here on the Senate side. But as we know, oftentimes the Senate kind of comes up with a plan, the House comes up with a different plan, and so ultimately it will be another instance where both sides are going to have to reconcile their differences.
All right, I want to talk about something going on or not going on the Senate side. Senator Tommy Tuberville continues to block military appointments over the Pentagon's abortion policy. So they managed recently to there's a workaround, and they got 3 people kind of elevated. But, when we talked about that last time, you said that they can't just do that all the time. It's too cumbersome. It takes too long. So where do things stand on this sort of stalemate?
Well, Senate Republicans did meet earlier this week to try to strategize, and they didn't necessarily walk away with many answers other than continued frustration over this blockade that Senator Tuberville is imposing. That being said, Senate Democrats have made clear that they intend to move forward with an attempt to try to change the rules in order to process more of these military promotions in short order. So the Rules Committee is set to take that up next week.
And the Senate Judiciary Committee could vote as soon as today to authorize subpoenas for 2 wealthy GOP donors over their involvement when it comes to sort of luxury trips that they may have provided to 2 Supreme Court justices. This is really interesting. I don't think we've kind of ever broached the subject of Supreme Court justices and ethics and behavior, because they kind of typically are allowed to police themselves. So what more can you tell us, and what hurdles could this vote face?
Well, this is something that the Senate Judiciary Committee has been trying to move forward with for some time. There's been a lot of frustration on the part, at least, of Senate Democrats, particularly as we have seen, this kind of drip of reports, primarily from outlets like ProPublica, which have detailed some of these lavish trips that some Supreme Court justices, for instance, like Clarence Thomas, have taken in the past with some affiliation, it appears, from some of these GOP mega donors, including Harlan Crow and Leonard Leo, who's a big conservative activist. And so while the Judiciary Committee made an attempt to try to get Chief Justice John Roberts to come before the panel to testify, that didn't work. And so now the committee is taking this approach of trying to issue subpoenas to some of these GOP mega donors to see if they can get some cooperation. Now, so far, they have stonewalled the panel, so it's unclear unclear whether or not a subpoena would make any difference if they end up authorizing them. The committee did walk back, though, one of its subpoena threats against another donor, Robin Arkley, after he agreed to cooperate with the panel. But this is part of the committee's kind of ongoing crackdown and attempt to raise issues with this issue of judicial ethics, although ultimately Senate Republicans have made clear this should be a matter that should be handled by the court.
All right, Nikole, thank you very much.